unnecessary imagination.
Tell us, how did the Northern Governors Forum all present Governor Jang as a consensus candidate, only for some of them to go for the election proper, because there was a secret ballot, vote for somebody?
I do not believe, except if I have a superior argument, that the Northern Governors Forum sat that day to nominate Jang as his candidate. I don't believe it. As I was saying, that signature is very important. If it is stated in court of law, Jang never sought for any election.
Yeah,
it was on that day. Excuse me.
They didn't put a date. They put May, because we're looking for dates for 24th.
Yes.
I see 24th.
Yes.
At the bottom of the document.
Okay. If it is 24th, Jang sought for election on that day. So it couldn't have been correct to say that signature was Jang's signature. It might be for Shemi. It could be for Yuguda.
What if it was not on that day? What if they had agreed before that day?
No, we are all told. It's very clear, Chamberlain. To every Democrat of conscience, to every Nigerian, it is very clear that these people drafted Jang barely 24 hours to the election. His nomination form, his everything came on that day around 3 o'clock.
Okay, talk about this.
So there was a kind of the hands of Ishao and the voice of Jacob.
Yeah. If you say that, Rivers State Governor has consistently denied that he doesn't have any presidential ambition.
Yes.
But there are those who also think that politically they see this calculation that, well, yes, the 19 governors, no matter what they say, northern governors presented one candidate, eventually something has happened. Sule Lamido, Jigawa State Governor, voted for him. Because if you look at the history, they say this forum has produced the president, they produced nomination as vice president, they had a say with the doctrine of necessity. This forum is a serious political bloc.
You see?
And they also think that the eventual plan was that this forum now will present an alternative candidate in 2015 to whoever the PDP presents. And if that happens, perhaps it could be Jigawa State Governor.
You see? That's why with all this you even helped me answering the question. Contrary to what the immediate speaker, Dr. Femi, was saying, that this forum has no relevance, it has lost the confidence of Nigeria. Look at, it's a pressure group, whether we like it or not. Secondly, looking at your leg of the question, the Governors Forum is a very powerful and dynamic forum that has a lot of influence in deciding who becomes the president.
In Nigeria?
In Nigeria, of course. Of course. If you go to delegates, it's the Governors Forum that, it's the governors that determine who the delegates vote for. So it's a serious-minded political forum that cannot be judged by anybody.
So,
and therefore, if anybody tells you that the hand of the presidency is not there, it is a fatal lie.
But Dr. Fabian doesn't see it that way. He believes that, well, it's just a forum of like minds, and it doesn't go beyond that.
Dr. Fabian is just a Nigerian by skin, but a foreigner by thought. He doesn't know the political side.
He's the PDP chairman in diaspora in Europe.
Of course, in diaspora, he doesn't know the political intrigues. I know the political intrigues because I'm taking for position of authority.
Are you also a PDP member?
I'm not a PDP member, but I have been into politics. Only that by now, I'm at the sidelines as a journalist watching. So if I'm talking from position of authority. Now the Governors Forum determine who becomes the president of this country. And that is why there has been this pressure to support Governor Jang to step in under an atmosphere that is undemocratic, that is immoral, illegal, reprehensible, and in fact, it is absurd.
You haven't responded to that political calculation where they think that Governor Amaechi is put in there to hold forth such that he can facilitate the presentation of Jigawa State Governor as a presidential candidate for the party.
Let me tell you, that is mere speculation. As far as I'm concerned, Governor Amaechi has never told anybody. He has never told anybody that he's holding for. You see, Amaechi has a lot of goodwill from everywhere in Nigeria. You see, people are even taking his photograph to put today with Jiga Lamido. Then the next day, you see his photograph with Governor Kwankwaso of Kano. Tomorrow, you see his photograph with Buhari. There are so many. The man has a lot of goodwill.
Is there smoke without fire?
No. You see, that is to show you the goodwill of a Nigerian that has been able to capture the hearts and the minds of people. This is a Democrat. This is somebody that has performed. Go and see the performance profile Look at the network of roads in Port Harcourt. Look at the international model school that he has been able to build everywhere in the Central District. Look at the Aduke Amaechi Stadium. Look at the district. So there are so many things that this man has done. And he has also been able to critically look at the Governors Forum and give it a shape and direction. He has changed the face and character of governance in the Governors Forum. He has brought a lot of psychological updates.
But his colleagues, based on his colleagues don't seem to agree with the face and character he has given the Governors Forum.
Let me tell you. That's the beauty of democracy. The last election on Friday, to show you the beauty of democracy and the sanctity of the ballot box. Nowhere in the world has endorsement overtaken the supremacy of the ballot box. Nowhere. That is the beauty of democracy. Democracy is a game of numbers where people vote. And the voting in a normal civilized setting must be under secret balloting. Those people might have been coerced by the presidency to append their signatures.
But why would you be the umpire in your own game? That's the question.
Let me tell you, why did they allow this voting to go on? Let me tell you what happened, as I was trying to tell you. When they went in for that election that day, I have a privileged information. The proponents of JAM had wanted the election to be by a raise of hand. But the supremacy of superior argument took over. And they said, look, we are governors. We are leaders in our own right. There is the need for us to sit down and do the voting pattern according to the normal democratic setting of the world. Secret balloting. And they agreed to the superior argument. That was one layer. In fact, let me tell you, because of that signatures that they had, the Pro-Jan group had already started celebrating. In fact, they even had their acceptance speech already in his pocket. Not knowing that democracy is a government, it's about secret balloting.
You saw it.
Look, I'm telling you, I'm giving you, this is a privileged information I'm giving you. And I stand to be corrected or to be challenged by anybody. So when they went in for the elections, they saw how when, as I told you, the superior argument reigned, and then there was secret balloting. Now, for someone to say there was fake ballot papers, the statement could be defensive, but it is very offensive to the psyche of any Democrat of conscience.
But how did 18 governors, attend the meeting called by Governor Jang?
Look,
from what we're told.
Let me tell you, there was no 18 governors. I've seen them. There was nothing like 18 governors. There were deputies and some few governors that were behind it. It's just go around the table and you see. There was nothing like 18 governors.
So not that first time, subsequently.
Even the subsequent 18 governors that you talk about, they are just very few governors and they send their deputies because they are not happy. This guy won in, 19 votes to 16. Calculated, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. You put 19 and 16. Is it not 35? So where is the excess balloting? That somebody will come and start insulting Asake and a psychology by saying that there was fake balloting.
But now that there are allegedly two governors forums,
yes,
don't you think it now depends on which group the president listens to?
Let me tell you, that is the beauty of democracy. And I think if I were to be President Jonathan, this is a test case for him. He is one Nigerian that is professing that he wants to be run as a Nigerian whose leadership profile has a lot of consideration for rule of law and democracy. This is a test case. Don't tell us because you've allowed Governor Oshimole and Governor Mimiko and the other governor in Anambra, Peter Obi, to be elected because they are very popular in their places. Don't tell us that you've done anything magnanimous to them. No, it's democracy. But the game of number determines who becomes the governor or the president. And in this case, let me tell you, if I were the president or the presidency, what I would do is to make sure that I call Amaechi. Amaechi, you are my brother. In terms of age, which the ordinary African have respect for, I'm older than you. I'm the president of this country. Let's sit and iron our differences. You are my brother. Let's lock ourselves in a room and talk. They will iron out these things. And even Amaechi, in his acceptance speech, he said, quote and unquote, look, I am ready to admit myself to the presidency to make sure that the government of President Jonathan.
But that's what Tony Aneni did when he went to River State. We saw him with Rotimi Amici. We thought by now it would have been sorted out.
Who knows whether the fault is coming from the presidency? Because there are a lot of people, not the president. Excuse me, not the president, Suleiman.
I understand. We're talking about the office.
It could be some of the hangers-on of the president could be telling him that...
It could be either way. It could also be from River State.
Exactly, but I know Amici very well. I know Amici very well. This is a man that is forgiving. And this is one man that I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart. He's one man that is ready to accept an amicable settlement on almost everything.
What if the party says what the Rivers State governor has done is anti-party activity?
No, they couldn't have been anti-party. This governor for is a PDP affair.
No, but if
PDP is for... Excuse me, there is PDP forum, which is now governed by Governor Fabio. Let him call for a meeting. How many PDP governors attend the meeting? How many? Tell me. Almost all the governors in this country, either PDP or this thing, have Amaechi as an arrowhead as their leader. Call any meeting by Amaechi, you see all the governors will be there. But let Akpabio call a meeting and you see very few governors attending. Because he doesn't have them. He doesn't carry them. He feels he's a political King Kong that has been able to determine a senatorial seat in his state by capturing by force a ticket from one senator, giving it to another, And this cannot happen in Nigeria. Nigeria is a satellite of our Bible.
All right, we'll have to let it go here. We'll, thank you for coming on this morning. Ibrahim Modibbo is the National Coordinator concerned the Democrats of Conscience. And, okay, well, that's what we're trying to curtain also today.